All right, Raiders fans, let's jump straight into the latest happenings surrounding our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. The season has been full of ups and downs, and there's no shortage of trade rumors swirling around the team as we approach critical deadlines. The big question on everyone's mind has been about Jacoby Myers and whether the Raiders are seriously considering moving him. Over the past few weeks, the chatter has fluctuated wildly. At one point, it seemed almost certain he could be traded, but now, confidence is dropping and opinions are divided. Jacoby himself has been vocal about wanting a new opportunity, and while the organization is aware of his stance, past experiences suggest that it's never a simple yes or no. Even when a player expresses interest in a move, it doesn't automatically mean the front office will act. For Myers, there's talk about a potential fourth-round pick in 2027, but realistically, a fourth-round pick in 2026 carries more immediate value for the Raiders. Teams need to consider timing and whether a pick years down the line really helps them in the present season. As much as coaching staff continuity is important, a trade requires two willing parties, not just the player pushing for it. A third-round or second-round pick for Myers might be too steep, and right now, only a handful of teams appear to be seriously engaging. New England, Buffalo, and New York seem to top the list, with other teams like San Francisco possibly in the mix. Denver and Pittsburgh, for instance, appear unlikely suitors, either because of their roster situations or because of recent acquisitions, which reduces the pool of potential trades and makes Myers' future even murkier. Looking at other potential moves, there's been speculation about players beyond Jacoby who could be on the Raiders' radar for trades. Names like Eric Stokes have begun to surface, particularly given his standout performance this season. While there's no indication the team wants to move him, trade discussions sometimes emerge simply because other teams express interest. The dynamic nature of the NFL means that even solid contributors can become part of strategic considerations if a deal could help strengthen another area. The Raiders have multiple players who could draw attention, from wide receivers to quarterbacks and key pieces on the offensive and defensive lines. For instance, if quarterback depth or experience becomes a factor for other teams, even someone like Adidin O'Connell could garner interest. In the trenches, players like Tyree Wilson or Jackson Powers-Johnson represent talent that, while valuable, could become trade candidates if an exceptional offer comes along. Max Crosby, for example, is a cornerstone of the defense, but hypothetically, if an irresistible package were offered, even a player of his caliber could be discussed. The point is, each season, trade rumors ebb and flow based on team needs, player performance, and strategic timing. While some names get more media attention, others are quietly monitored behind the scenes by general managers and scouts, making the landscape for potential moves highly fluid. Beyond trades, the Raiders' approach as buyers or sellers is another topic that's generating buzz. The signing of Tyler Lockett during a bye week signals that the organization is actively looking to strengthen its roster, suggesting a mindset of being buyers rather than sellers. While their record might not scream championship contention just yet, the coaching staff has shown a willingness to pursue impactful additions that can elevate the team immediately. In this context, if the Raiders were to make trades, they would likely focus on bolstering the secondary and defensive line, areas where depth and performance can have immediate effects on the outcome of games. Potential targets on defense include cornerbacks and safeties with connections to the coaching staff, which could make integration smoother. Players like Reek Woolen, with prior experience in systems tied to the coaching philosophy, or Alontae Taylor, who brings versatility in coverage and physicality, could be appealing targets. Additionally, rumors around Kyle Duggar's availability make him an intriguing candidate for a defensive addition, especially if a deal involving another player like Jacoby Myers becomes feasible. The Raiders clearly value relationships and familiarity when evaluating potential acquisitions, which often guides their pursuit strategy in the trade market. On the defensive line, there's a growing recognition that the Raiders need to generate more pressure consistently. The absence of key contributors has left gaps in their rotation, and improving pass rush is a priority. Names like Kayvon Thibodeau, who fits a hybrid outside linebacker role reminiscent of Bruce Irvin, could be considered, particularly given existing relationships with coaching staff and prior connections. Edge rushers like Jalen Phillips, who has ties to UCLA and connections through the network of former players and staff, might also be on the radar, though injury history is a factor to consider. Lastly, Carl Granderson represents a younger, more cost-effective option for bolstering the defensive front, especially for a team aiming to be competitive without overcommitting resources. These potential acquisitions reflect a strategy of targeted improvements that address specific needs without drastically altering the core roster, a method that balances short-term competitiveness with long-term planning. In evaluating all these possibilities, the Raiders' trade and acquisition strategy seems calculated and precise. They're weighing not only what they can gain immediately, but also how moves could affect future seasons. Every discussion about trades or acquisitions considers draft capital, player performance, team fit, and the competitive landscape of the league. This careful balancing act shows that even in the midst of rumors and speculation, the organization is deliberate in its decision-making. As fans, it's a fascinating process to follow because it combines player personalities, front office strategy, and league-wide dynamics into a complex web that determines the direction of the team. Each potential trade or acquisition is more than just a headline. It represents a strategic choice that could shape the Raiders' fortunes for years to come. The energy around the Raiders is palpable as fans track every rumor, every report, and every hint of a potential move. The combination of Jakobi Meyers' uncertain future, other trade candidates, and the team's buyer mentality creates a narrative full of tension and excitement. From secondary reinforcements to defensive line targets, the Raiders are in a position where thoughtful, impactful decisions could transform their season. As the trade deadline approaches, speculation will intensify, and fans will closely analyze every hint from the team, every move from rival organizations, and every subtle indication from player and coach interactions. Each day brings new possibilities, and the Raiders' front office has the challenging task of sifting through options to identify the moves that will maximize the team's success. This evolving landscape keeps the fan base engaged and invested, as discussions about potential trades and acquisitions spark debates, predictions, and hopes for improvements across the roster. The Raiders' actions, from signings during bye weeks to evaluating players for potential trades, demonstrate a proactive approach that emphasizes both strategic thinking and adaptability. For those following closely, every rumor carries weight, whether it's the potential departure of Jakobi Meyers, the addition of a cornerback, or shoring up the pass rush. The organization's focus on maintaining competitiveness while navigating the complexities of trade negotiations reflects a broader commitment to long-term growth and immediate results. Fans are constantly weighing the possibilities, considering which moves make sense, which players fit the team's vision, and how any acquisition could impact chemistry and performance. It's this intersection of strategy, timing, and talent evaluation that makes following the Raiders so compelling. As the team continues to maneuver through the season, each potential trade or signing has ripple effects, not only on the roster but on the fan base, the locker room, and the organization's trajectory. While certainty remains elusive, the excitement and anticipation around the Raiders' next moves are undeniable, making this period one of the most intriguing stretches of the season. The Raiders' navigation of trade rumors, acquisitions, and team-building decisions showcases the complexity of running an NFL franchise. Balancing player desires, organizational goals, and competitive realities requires a nuanced approach, and every decision carries consequences that extend beyond the immediate season. As speculation continues, the interplay between potential trades, signings, and strategic priorities provides endless discussion points for fans and analysts alike, keeping the Raiders at the center of league-wide attention. Continuing with the latest on the Las Vegas Raiders, the team's focus on improving the roster has led to an intriguing mix of possibilities for both the secondary and the defensive front. While Jakobi Meyers remains the headline trade candidate, the organization is also quietly evaluating other players who could make a meaningful impact if moved or acquired. Eric Stokes, for example, has begun appearing in conversations due to his strong performances, and while the Raiders are not actively looking to trade him, the interest from other teams could create an opportunity down the line. Quarterback depth is another area of speculation, especially considering Adedin Okanel's potential value. With injuries, coaching experience, and strategic fit all factored in, even players who might not typically be viewed as trade candidates suddenly take on significance in the broader context of roster management. Offensive line and trench players, including Tyree Wilson and Jackson Powers-Johnson, represent both talent and potential leverage for trades depending on the offers that arise. Max Crosby, though a cornerstone of the defense, exemplifies how even established stars can be considered if a particularly compelling trade proposal surfaces. The constant balancing act of maintaining competitiveness while weighing strategic trade-offs is what defines the front office's approach during this part of the season. The Raiders' signing of Tyler Lockett during the bye week sent a clear message. This is a team looking to be buyers. This proactive strategy highlights the coaching staff's intent to strengthen the roster in ways that can make an immediate impact. Lockett's addition is more than a simple roster tweak. It represents a calculated move to address specific offensive needs and create more options in the passing game. Beyond receivers, the team's attention to secondary reinforcement is becoming increasingly apparent. Reek Woolen, with prior familiarity with coaching systems connected to the Raiders' staff, presents an attractive option. His knowledge of similar schemes could allow him to integrate quickly and contribute immediately. Alontae Taylor, another cornerback under consideration, offers versatility and physicality, capable of lining up both inside and outside. Kyle Duggar also emerges as a potential target, particularly in scenarios where trades involving other players could open opportunities to address defensive needs. These possibilities highlight a deliberate approach, emphasizing players who can seamlessly blend into the system while addressing pressing positional gaps. On the defensive line, the Raiders have recognized a pressing need to improve pass rush and create consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Christian Wilkins' absence has been felt, and the team's reliance on a limited rotation underscores the importance of strategic acquisitions in this area. Kayvon Thibodeau represents a potential addition with a hybrid outside linebacker skills reminiscent of Bruce Irvin, capable of playing multiple roles within the defensive front. Jalen Phillips, despite injury concerns, has connections within the organization that make him a plausible target if the team seeks to strengthen edge rush capabilities. Carl Granderson offers a younger, cost-effective option for improving pass rush depth, particularly in a system that relies on efficiency and targeted rotation. These defensive line considerations underscore the Raiders' intent to address gaps in ways that maximize both performance and adaptability, rather than overhauling the roster indiscriminately. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing, and whispers are turning into full-blown chatter. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially unveiled their latest defensive jewel, Sauce Gardner. From the moment he steps onto the practice field, insiders are calling him a secondary at an elite level, a phrase that could send shivers down the spine of any opposing quarterback. Rumors have been circulating for weeks about Gardner's potential landing spot, with scouts, agents, and even rival teams speculating in hushed tones. But now it's official. The Raiders have secured a talent that many say could redefine their defensive identity. What makes Gardner such a hot topic? It's not just his physical tools, though his speed, length, and instinct are the stuff of highlight reels, but the aura he brings to the locker room. Sources close to the team suggest his presence alone is already influencing the mindset of veteran players, forcing them to raise their game. The chatter in Vegas sports circles is that Gardner isn't just a cornerback. He's a statement. One insider went so far as to hint that opposing offenses might have to completely rethink their game plan because Gardner has a rare knack for anticipating routes and turning tight windows into turnovers. Of course, the rumor mill doesn't stop there. Some speculate that Gardner's arrival could spark a domino effect in the Raiders' offseason strategy, potentially affecting draft picks, free agent pursuits, and even the overall defensive scheme. Vegas fans are reportedly buzzing on social media, debating whether Gardner is already the best corner in the league or if he still needs time to adjust to the pro level. Yet, every mention of his name seems to carry a mix of awe and expectation. Analysts are whispering about a potential shutdown duo forming in the secondary, and the phrase elite-level cornerback keeps echoing in commentary circles, fueling even more speculation. While nothing is set in stone, after all, the NFL is full of surprises. The excitement around Sauce Gardner is palpable. Rumors suggest the Raiders see him as more than just a player. They see him as a cornerstone of a new defensive era. And if the early buzz is to be believed, opposing quarterbacks might already be losing sleep over the mere thought of facing him. One thing is certain. The Raiders' secondary just became the talk of the league, and Sauce Gardner is at the center of every headline, every whisper, every rumor. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.